Hello and welcome to the Pilates for Cyclists workout volume 2. So I know the Pilates for Cyclists video is a really popular one on the channel. I like doing it myself because I cycle. So I thought it was time I did a new version. So there's going to be a lot of new exercises in it. There's going to be none that are repeated from the first one. So you could maybe use both of them and alternate between the two. So we're going to start by standing. Okay, feet hip distance apart, shoulders are nice and relaxed, and we're just going to reach up. So slight bend in the knees in the middle. Okay, and just reach up from that rib cage. Okay, and for 8 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so now hold your feet in the center. We're just knees are slightly bent. I'm going to just shift the weight from one side to the other. Okay, so all the weight in the right and then all the weight in the left. So now hold all the weight in the left, so you're weight in that left glute. We're just going to tap out to the side with the right and in. So nothing else moves. All the movement is just coming from the outside side of that right hip and the supporting glute. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now we're going to lift up and we're going to take the knee to tabletop and then out to the side. Okay, so for 8. So we're adding a little bit of balance in with the strength. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So now hold that knee in tabletop, cross your hands in front and push the wrists into each other. And we're going to rotate towards that bent knee and back. Just 4 of these. 3 more. 2 and 1. Bend down. Let's go to the other side. So all the weight's now in the right leg and we tap out and in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lifting up now. Ooh, arms out to the side. Then we come in and out. 2. Ooh. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and last one, 8. And then hold that knee in front, across the wrists, and rotate. For 2. God, I'm a bit wobbly today. 3, 4, and 1 more. 5. Bend the knees and down. So that's a really useful one for us as cyclists because it's working all the muscles in the outside of the hips and the glutes, and also we're bringing in some balance, which is always a good thing. Okay, so next we're going to do a standing version of the saw exercise. So the saw exercise I did in my first video, we're seated. Okay, we're going to do a standing version now. So we're going to have knees slightly bent, arms out to the side, shoulders down and relax. We're going to inhale, rotate, and then we're going to exhale, flex over towards that leg, the opposite leg, as if you're flexing over a ball. Come up and untwist. So I'll show you from the side. So we rotate and then flex those abdominals, lifting up and untwist. Okay, so join me now. So rotate, flex across, lifting up and untwist. 2. So it may take just a few times to just get into the movement, but it's if you're flexing over a ball and up. Lift, flex, getting some movement through that spine. So you 2 more either side. And last one. Good. Final one standing, just to make sure that that lower back is nice and warmed up. We're going to do 3 roll downs. So we're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, nod the chin to the chest, and then using the abdominals, we flex over, keeping that pelvis high as long as we can. When it can't flex anymore, you tip the pelvis forward over the femurs and come down to the mat. If you need to bend your knees slightly, that's fine. I'm filming this quite early in the morning to escape the worst of the heat, so my hamstrings don't feel super warm right now. Inhale and exhale up. And then last one. And using those abdominals to lift the pelvis to vertical, and then rolling all the way up, round and down. Okay, so now we're going to go down onto the mat. So we're going to lie on our back. Okay. So just take a minute to get comfortable, making sure that collarbone is nice and open. Your legs are parallel, so they're coming straight out of the hip bones. Our pelvis is in neutral, so just push it away, flatten it down, and then rest it in the middle. Head is coming into your hands, your elbows are in your peripheral vision. Just going to do a basic ab prep. So we're going to inhale to prepare, and then exhale, ribs glide down towards the pelvis. Pelvis stays in neutral, and then lower back. So for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so now, let's wait for the garbage truck to pass. Okay, so now, one leg, get your right leg longer down the mat, your left knee is bent. We're going to do 5 basic lifts. So lift up and down. 2, keep that pelvis nice and neutral. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so now arms are going long, and we're going to pick the pelvis up and the leg up and lower. Okay, so we're going to do 5 of those. So lift and down. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so we're really isolating that glute work there on the opposite side. Okay, hands go back into your head. And now we're going to lift the leg and do an oblique twist towards it, lower down. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's your shoulder coming towards the knee. 7 and 8. Okay, final one before we change legs. So lift that right leg to the straight, left leg goes to a hover, and we're going to be doing our scissors exercise. So we pulse the leg towards us, pulse. Keep the head and chest lifted. My head is supported in between my shoulder blades. Good, really reach that leg long. It's a really great one for the hamstrings. Good. 2 more. Okay, both legs in. So so now the right knee goes bent and the left leg goes long, and we're going to do the whole thing on the other side. So head in your hands, and we lift up and down. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Arms are going long. Okay, and we're going to pick the pelvis up and tap down. So really squeeze through this supporting glute. 3, 2, and last one. Head back in the hands for the oblique rotation. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, final one. Scissors. Let's just do for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug those knees in and rest the head down. Great job. Okay, our last ab exercise for now. Hold on behind the thighs, lifting up, and we're going to go into a double leg stretch. So this, we take our hat off our head, arms circle round into the outside of the shins. Okay, so let's do 6. So for 6, 5. If this is too much, keep your head down. 3, 2, and last one. Press down and then just hold on to the front of the shins. Oop, and come up. And we're going to go into a 4-point kneeling position. Okay, so when we go into a 4-point kneeling position, I want you to just put your little finger, then the next, then to the thumb, just to mold your hands into the mat. And then I want you to have a slight bend on the elbow and just push up through those hands to make sure you're nice and secure on the back. My knees are underneath my hips. So we're going to do some protraction and retraction of the scapula, so the shoulder blades on the back. We really rely on those when we're cycling to support us so all the work does not go into the lower back. So when we're on the handlebars, we want to make sure that upper back is really strong. So we're going to just bring the shoulder blades together at the back, but make sure you're not sinking into the lower back. We're just moving the shoulder blades, and then we're pushing them slightly up and around at the back. So we bring them together. Okay, so this is probably quite hard for you to see on the video, but you're going to feel it. Okay, so feel like they're coming together and then they're pushing away. So all they're doing here, you keep going, is going around the rib cage and forward, and then they're around the rib cage and back. So it's super important that we train our scapula to glide. So we don't want them to get stuck because that causes tension in our neck. Okay, so let's just do 2 more. Down and push away, and 1 more, and away. Great. So keep those hands nice and stable, so we're feeling those scapula working for us. We're going to now tuck our toes under, and we're going to hover the knees off the mat, okay, making sure head is in line. Okay, and then we're just going to extend one leg out and in for 4, 3, 2, nothing else moves, 1, in, other side, for 4, 3, 2, 1, knees in, lower down. We're going to do 1 more set of those. So knees lift, hovering off the mat, keep nice and stable, use those arms and the back, out. 2, 3, 4, and other side, 4, 3, 2, 1, knees down, and then just widen those knees and just come back into a rest pose, just opening up those hips. And then we're going to come onto our tummy. Okay, so I want you to, I'll just move forward a little bit. Rest your forehead on the back of your hands. Okay, so when we're in this prone position or lying on our tummy, we want our glutes and hamstrings to be pulling down and feel like your abs are lifting off the mat. Okay, so I don't want them to physically lift. I just want you to feel like there's a little ice cube under your belly button and you don't want it to melt. Okay, so head is resting, and then we're just going to inhale, extend the upper back, exhale down. So we're not coming up too high. I want you to use the muscles on the upper back to lift you. I don't want you to push through the hands too much to bring you up. So we do 3 more like this. Should be no tension in your neck and nothing in your lower back. And 1 more. Okay, so now we're going to add some weight. We're going to bring the hands at the same time. So we're lifting up and down. So you may not go as high now because you're adding that extra weight, but it's just super important to keep that lower back protected using the abs. 3 more like this. 2 and 1. Great job. Okay, arms come now to your hips. Okay, so head is hovering off the mat, shoulders are round and together at the back. Okay, and we're going to bring the arms to a T, and then palms face the hips. So for 6, 5, keep your head staring at the mat. 3, you should be in a perfect line from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes. 2, 1. Now hold it up at the back, lift the legs up, drop the heels in slightly, and we're just going to swim the legs. We're going to go for 8, 7, 6. Really use those upper back muscles. 3, 2, 1, and lowering down. So rest the head back on the hands again. Okay, I'm going to keep mine hovering slightly off so you can hear what I'm saying. Legs are coming a little bit wider now, the heels are dropping in. Now I want you to really listen to my cues for this exercise. Okay, because as cyclists we want our glutes to work. Okay, that's a lot of cyclists have lazy glutes. So all the work is in the hamstring and the quad. We want our glutes to fire on that initial pushing down of the pedal stroke. So I want you to listen to my cues. I want you to engage your right glute. Okay, then the hamstring, then lift the leg up and lower. Left side, glute, hamstring, lift and lower. Right glute, hamstring and down. Okay, so I hope you can really feel that difference to if you just lift the leg without thinking, and then you lift in the sequence we want the leg to lift. Okay, because the glutes are lazy, there's a tendency for us just to use our hamstrings, but then that starts to pull our back into all sorts of nasty positions. And we don't want that. We want those glutes to be working for us all the time on the bike and all the time generally. Just 2 more either side. Glute, hamstring and down. So we're not lifting that leg high, we're lifting it long. And last one. And then we're going to come on to our side. Okay. So we're going to rest the head in the hands. Okay, our legs are going long, bottom leg is bent just for a little bit of support. Top leg is long, push that hip away, and then I want you to tip it slightly forward so it's sort of on an angle towards the mat. Foot is long, so we're going to lower and lift, lower and lift. So the reason I'm getting you to tip the hips forward is again to do with the glutes. So we have 3 glute muscles. We want to work by tipping the hips forward, we're working the two smaller ones, so the glute min and the glute medius. Okay, they are even more lazy than the glute max. So it's a really good idea to work those ones. Let's do 3 more. Lower, lift, 2, and 3. Okay, now take the other leg along, lower both down. We're going to lift the top, bottom to meet it, and down. So try and keep those hips angled down a little bit. You may need to push through your hand here just to give you some support, but make sure that work is still in the legs. You're not using all the effort from that hand. Do 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. Okay, bend the knees, just push up. Okay, so knees are stacked, and my shoulder is, I'm supporting by my shoulder blade. I'm not collapsing into the neck. We're going to do a variation of side bend, and then we're going to change that to a side plank. Okay, so we're just going to lift up and over, feel that lovely stretch along the side, and down. So we do 4 of those. So for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so if you wish, now we're going to straighten the legs. We're going to come up into a side plank, and then we're going to lift those hips as you bend over, side plank, and down. So 3 of those. So lift, over, up, and down. Try and get those hips as high as you can, and make sure you're nice and stable on that shoulder. And down, and then a quick counter stretch. And then let's go to the other side. So getting set up, we're going to be supported on this arm, bottom knee is bent. Take the leg long first, push that hip away so you're not collapsing in the waist, and then angle the hips towards the mat. And we're going to lower and lift, lower and lift. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. Both legs are now going long. We lift the top one, the bottom one, and down. Okay, so it doesn't matter that you're maybe not going so high. I know I don't go as high this side. Just so long as you're working those legs long and you're using the inner thigh to lift up to meet. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Bend those knees. Come up to seated. Okay, and we start with our bent knee position, and we just come up and over. That stretch feels nice. 2, and oh no, 2 more. It's the last one. So now legs are going long, if you wish. Lifting up, and then hike those hips straight and down. And 1 more. And down. So we're now going to come onto our knees. Okay, if this isn't comfortable for you, maybe put a towel under your knees just to give them a little bit of extra support. We're not going to be here for too long. Okay, arms are coming into a goalpost position, and we're just going to drop almost to the bottom and then lifting up. So arms come forward and up. So let's do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so now arms are going wide. Actually, I'll show you the body movement first. We're going to hinge back and then come forward. Okay, so this is a lot of work for the front of our thighs, for the quads. So I don't want you to strain those. We're just coming back as far until you can feel that contraction, then coming up. So we're going to back and up for 7. Keep in a straight line. Use those abs to support you. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. So just a little bit of work for the front of our thighs there. Okay, so we're going to lie down and we're going to end with a nice stretch for our glutes and hamstrings. So lying on your back, I want you to take one foot across the opposite knee and then bring that leg towards you. But then when you're there, I want to put you to push your pelvis into neutral. Okay, so the tendency is to tuck it. I want it to try and get neutral. You get a much better stretch for that glute. So just breathe into that stretch. Okay, if you want a little more, just push that knee slightly away and breathe. Okay, then foot down. I want you to grab hold of the back of the thigh, knee bent, and we just push the heel up as you resist with the hand and then bend. So this is a stretch for the hamstring in the mid-range. Okay, so science has shown that stretching in the mid-range, not at the end ranges, so not stretching so much like this, is just a more healthy way to stretch. And just one more. And down. Okay, and then let's go to the side. So knee across, bring it in, and then just try and keep that pelvis as neutral as you can. And breathe into that stretch. This is a stretch that always feels so great after you've done any cycling or running. But figure 4 is just great for opening up your hips. It's something that you should try and do every day anyway. Push that knee away if you wish. And then go to the hamstring. Pull it in and then resist it out. So you may not feel that it's such an intense stretch, but believe me, you are stretching your hamstrings in a really healthy way. And one more. Oh, my leg's shaking. And in. And then rolling up. And you are done. So there you have it, 25 minutes, another cycling, Pilates for cycling routine to go with the volume 1 that's been on the channel for quite a while. So I hope you like that. Please do leave me a comment and let you know. It's always good to get feedback so I know what you like, what you don't like, and maybe what you want me to work on in the future. So I hope to see you again really soon. I'm going to go in now because it's actually quite sweaty. So have a great day and I'll see you soon. Bye.